Part 1: SpongeBob and Sandy. SpongeBob was walking home from work. When he got to his room, he saw a note on his bed. It said, "Dear SpongeBob, meet me at my tree home tonight. Love, Sandy." SpongeBob's heart started to race as he read the note. He couldn't believe that Sandy had left him a letter, and began pacing around the room, trying to process what he had just read. He had known Sandy for a very long time, and they had always been good friends, but recently he had started to feel different around her. As the night approached, SpongeBob couldn't wait to meet Sandy. He put on his best outfit, and made his way over to her tree home. When he arrived, he saw Sandy waiting for him, looking beautiful as always. "Hi Sandy," SpongeBob greeted her, feeling a little nervous. "Hi SpongeBob," Sandy replied, smiling at him warmly. They sat down on a log outside of Sandy's tree home, and began talking. SpongeBob still couldn't shake his feelings for her, and he found himself confessing them to her. "Sandy, I have something to tell you. I've been feeling this way for a while now, but I think I like you. More than just a friend," he said, looking down at the ground. Sandy's eyes widened at his confession, but then she smiled and took his hand in hers. "I was actually hoping you would say that, SpongeBob," she said, grinning at him. With that, SpongeBob leaned in and gave her a gentle kiss. They suddenly were much closer than ever before. As they pulled away, they both knew that this was just the beginning of their journey together. Part 2: Patrick and Mindy. Patrick was under his rock watching TV until the mailman showed up. Patrick got out and looked at the mail. Among the letters was a bright pink envelope that caught Patrick's attention. He opened it up and saw a letter from his longtime crush, Mindy. "Dear Patrick," the letter read. "I've been meaning to tell you this for a long time, but I really like you. Would you like to go out sometime?" Patrick couldn't believe his eyes. Mindy wanted to go out with him. He quickly wrote a letter back telling her that he would love to go out with her. On their first date, they decided to go to the beach. They splashed around in the water, had a picnic on the sand, and talked for hours. As the sun began to set, Patrick had a feeling that this was the start of something special. They went on many more dates after that, and Patrick found himself falling even more in love with Mindy. One day he decided to take her to Jellyfish Fields for a surprise picnic. He brought out a basket filled with all of her favorite foods, and they spent the day laughing and enjoying each other's company. As the sun started to set, he took her hand and looked into her eyes. "Mindy, I know we've only known each other for a short time, but I really care about you. Will you be my girlfriend?" Mindy's face lit up with happiness, and she said yes. From that moment on, Patrick and Mindy were inseparable. They spent their days making each other laugh and exploring the world together. Patrick couldn't believe how lucky he was to have found such a wonderful girl. Part 3: Plankton and Karen. Plankton was working on an evil plan until the news told the star show will be starting tonight. Plankton was so consumed with his latest scheme to steal the Krabby Patty formula that he almost didn't hear the television blaring in the background. That is until he heard the words that made his blood run cold. The popular talent show, Star Show, was starting tonight. Plankton had completely forgotten about the show, which featured some of the most talented underwater creatures bringing their unique skills to the stage. The winner would receive a lifetime supply of Krabby Patties, something that Plankton desperately craved. But Plankton knew that getting on the show would be near impossible. Plankton spent the next few hours frantically brainstorming ways he could get onto Star Show. He got about making a fake audition tape, but he quickly realized that the producers would see right through it. He also got about bombing the competition, but he didn't want to hurt anyone. Just when Plankton had given up all hope, Karen, Plankton's trusty computer wife, suggested something unexpected. She suggested that he try auditioning for the show himself, by showcasing his true talent, his singing ability. Plankton was initially hesitant, unsure if he could pull off singing in front of a live audience, but with Karen's encouragement he decided to give it a shot. On the night of the audition, Plankton sang his heart out, surprising the judges and audience alike with his impressive vocal range. He even included a shout out to Karen in his lyrics, signifying his love and appreciation for her. To everyone's surprise, Plankton made it onto the show and went on to win the competition. But it wasn't the Krabby Patties that made him truly happy. It was knowing that he had Karen by his side, supporting him every step of the way. Part 4 Dennis and Human Girl. After he got hit by the boat, he fell onto the water. When he woke up 5 minutes, he was in the room with butterflies and stuff. "Oh, finally you're awake," a voice called out to him. Dennis looked up and saw a beautiful human girl sitting beside him. "Where am I?" Dennis asked curiously. "Don't move like that, I saw you unconscious in the water, and you took one big boat hit. I'm Lady Olivia. I was born with rainbow hair and rainbow eyes," she said. Dennis was both surprised and intrigued by the girl's appearance. "Lady Olivia, huh? That's quite a unique name. Thank you for rescuing me. But, why am I in this room with butterflies?" Olivia chuckled. "This is my room. I love collecting butterflies. They make me feel peaceful. And as for your boat accident, I couldn't just leave you there. So, I brought you here to recover." Dennis felt a warm feeling in his chest. He couldn't believe how caring this human girl was towards him, a mere sea creature. "Thank you again, Lady Olivia. I don't know how to repay you for your kindness." Olivia smiled sweetly. "You don't have to do anything. It's my pleasure to help. And please call me Olivia. Lady is such a formal address." Dennis nodded. "Okay, Olivia. My name's Dennis, by the way. And I must say, you're the first human I've ever spoken to in a friendly manner." Olivia giggled. "Well, I'm glad to be that human for you, Dennis. I've always been fascinated by sea creatures. In fact, I've seen a mermaid once. She was the most beautiful creature I've ever seen." Dennis felt a pang of jealousy at the mention of mermaids. He had a crush on SpongeBob, and he didn't want anyone to talk about other creatures. However, he didn't want to spoil the moment, so he smiled. "I'm sure she was beautiful, Olivia." The two of them talked for hours, getting to know each other better. Dennis forgot about SpongeBob for a while and found himself enjoying Olivia's company. He even found himself blushing when she smiled at him. As the sun started to set, Olivia said, "Well, it's getting late. You should rest some more. I'll make some dinner for us. You must be hungry after being unconscious." Dennis felt his stomach growl at the mention of food. "Thank you, Olivia. You don't have to do that. I can just go back to the sea." Olivia shook her head. No, you're still too weak. I insist. Don't worry, I won't cook seafood. I'll make pasta with tomato sauce." Dennis chuckled. "Okay, that sounds good. And again, thank you, Olivia." Olivia smiled. "You're welcome, Dennis. Rest some more while I cook. I'll call you when it's ready." Dennis closed his eyes and felt a wave of gratitude and happiness. He never expected to find love with a human girl. But who knows? Maybe this is how the universe works. Maybe love doesn't choose based on species, but on what's in the heart. Dennis didn't know what the future held, but he felt excited to find out. Part 5 Man Ray and OC. "Okay, thanks, but I know what I'm doing," a young girl said, heating up the phone. She was walking home back to her workplace. When she was walking, she can hear someone. What was that? "Someone broke in the bank," she said. Feeling curious and brave, the girl, whose name was Sarah, decided to investigate. She approached the bank and saw that it was indeed Man Ray, the infamous villain who broke in. Sarah gasped and hid behind a dumpster. She noticed that Man Ray was holding a large bag of money and was about to leave. Sarah knew that she had to do something to stop him, but she didn't know what. "Well, I have no choice but go in there and talk to him," she said. Sarah took a deep breath and gathered all her courage. She walked towards Man Ray, who was about to leave the bank. "Excuse me, Mr. Man Ray," Sarah said timidly. Man Ray turned around and sneered at her. "What do you want, kid? Trying to be a hero?" Sarah gulped, but stood her ground. "No, I just want to know why you're doing this." Man Ray chuckled. "Why do you think?" "Money, of course. Lots and lots of money." Sarah frowned. "But, is money really worth risking your life and breaking the law?" Man Ray narrowed his eyes. "What do you know about it, kid? You're just a naive little girl." Sarah took a step forward. "I may be naive, but I know that there are consequences for our actions. And, whatever you're doing, it's not worth it." You can get help, you know. You don't have to resort to stealing. Man Ray scoffed. Help? Who's gonna help me, huh? The police. The superheroes. They don't care about me. All they care about is their own fame and glory. Sarah shook her head. That's not true. There are people who care about you, Man Ray. You just have to give them a chance. Please, just put down the bag and surrender. It's not too late to make things right. Man Ray hesitated, and for a moment, Sarah got that he might listen to her. But then she heard a sound behind her. She turned around and saw Nightshade, her own creation, standing there. Step aside, Sarah, Nightshade said. This is a job for a real hero. Sarah felt a mix of emotions. She was happy to see Nightshade, but she also felt a pang of jealousy. She had been the one to confront Man Ray, but now, Nightshade was stealing the spotlight. Man Ray laughed. Nightshade. Always making an entrance, aren't you? What are you gonna do? Hit me with your toy weapons. Nightshade didn't seem bothered by Man Ray's words. She took out her bow staff and pointed it at him. Put down the bag, Man Ray. You're surrounded. Man Ray smirked. Surrounded? Really? You're the only one here, Nightshade. Nightshade grinned. That's what you think. Suddenly, the police arrived, along with other superheroes, including SpongeBob, who had come to join the chase. Man Ray realized that he had no choice but to surrender. He put down the bag and raised his hands. You win, Nightshade. This time. But, mark my words, I'll be back, Man Ray said before being handcuffed. Sarah watched as Man Ray was taken away, feeling a sense of pride and accomplishment. She may not have been the one to defeat him, but she had made a difference. Nightshade walked towards her and placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. You did well, Sarah. I'm proud of you. Sarah smiled, feeling grateful for Nightshade's support. Thanks, Nightshade. You were amazing. Nightshade chuckled. It's what heroes do. And who knows? Maybe you'll be the next big hero someday. Sarah's eyes widened at the possibility. She had never thought about becoming a hero herself, but now, it seemed like a real possibility. And, maybe, just maybe, she could work alongside Nightshade and the other heroes to make the world a better place. As they walked away from the bank, Sarah felt a sense of excitement and anticipation. She didn't know what the future held, but she knew that it was going to be full of adventure and possibilities. And as long as she had Nightshade by her side, she was ready for anything.